Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. At this time, I'll ask for any citizens' comments. Hearing none, moving forward, I have no informational items. Entertain a motion to approve prior meeting minutes of November 2nd.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any corrections, deletions, or additions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Old business. So I'll make the motion to adopt the proposed an ordinance providing for property tax exemption for farm buildings, additional exemption for farm machinery in the town of Ledyard is contained in the draft dated September 2nd, 2020. So the latest draft, based upon discussions that we've had previously, with that the exemption for, correct me if I'm wrong in this, Roxanne, on machinery, so we deleted that additional exemption from the proposed ordinance. But we left in the machinery exemption, so that's about the best I think we can do. We think we know the impact from PA 490. If the landowner decides to go both routes, they can get quite a bit of substantial reduction in their taxes. So I say we go move forward on this and move it on to finance.
I agree.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, Bill.
I'm trying to remember the original discussion, and it's escaping me, but I thought we started with the buildings only, and then we were asked to include machinery. We did, and that's what complicated it with PA 490. I don't think there was any complication with buildings, but there was with machinery.
Oh, with the buildings, the problem is the way the statute's written right now, they get an exemption for buildings up to 100,000 without us doing anything.
Yeah.
The statute allows us to provide an additional 100,000 hours of deferral for machinery and an additional 100,000 exemption for buildings. So, did that right, Roxanne? Did I get that right?
There's 3 items that they can take exemptions for, but they need to do that on their own. We don't need to do an ordinance, except maybe for the buildings.
No, we have to pass an ordinance for the additional exemptions. They get
Okay.
one of the 3 by statute already.
Right.
Right.
And
So I think the analysis we had from the tax, or from the tax assessor was based on buildings only. I'll go back and look and see if we have anything for machinery, but I thought it got a lot more complicated with machinery.
yeah, there was an additional exemption. I hope I'm not getting this backwards.
Right, I think you're correct, Kevin, that there's a state statute that already provides them with an exemption for machinery.
That's right, for machinery.
Then 490 provides tax exemption for property. So what you guys wanted to do was to take advantage of the state statute to provide them for an exemption up to $100,000 of assessed value for farm buildings.
Right, and then
I think start
right.
conversation, Paul Mogul kind of, when we first started down this road, it was just for the farm buildings, and then Paul Mogul asked that we include an additional exemption for the farm machinery. So we started doing that, and then once you guys got into reviewing the background information, that's when you decided to back out of the machinery, because there's already a provision for that.
Right. Because yeah, now that that's what it was. The statute already allows for machinery without the town doing anything.
Right.
We have to pass an ordinance to allow for the additional exemption for 100,000 for buildings and an additional 100,000 for machinery as well. So they could get up to 200,000 on machinery if we put this ordinance in with the machinery. That's what it was. So we decided, talk with Roxanne after all the discussion we've had, and I suggested that we remove the machinery, the second 100,000 for the machinery, and just do the building exemption.
Yeah, that's my recollection.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm proposing that we move forward with. Okay. Any other discussion?
Was there a second?
Yeah, Tony seconded.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, discussion possible action periodically reviewed list of town-owned properties. Liz is not here to provide the update, so we'll table that, or no action on that tonight. Item number 3. So this item we tabled, so I make a motion that we remove from the table the motion to reassign administrative control of Gales Ferry Community Center for Parks and Recreation Committee to the mayor in accordance with resolution establishing administrative control of town-owned or town-leased properties. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Do you want to remove that from the table, or do you just want to withdraw it from the agenda because you're going to go with the,
I thought I had to remove it from the table before I made the recommendation to remove it from the agenda. Because the action was tabled, so I think we have to, for procedure, I think we have to remove it from the table and then
okay,
decide to remove it from the agenda.
alrighty, got it.
Okay, so any discussion on removing the item from the table? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? So move the motion to remove from the table. So now, based upon discussions with the mayor, new business, I'm going to recommend move this item from our agenda. Since the mayor's here, we'll have a proposal later about a lease proposition to help with the food pantry issue. So without any objection, consensus to remove this from the table, remove this from the agenda.
Yes.
Tony, you good?
Yep.
Okay, so that item is removed from the agenda. Item number 4, status update regarding security and safety concerns regarding parking on East Street. Mayor, have we had any updates, any further action or note?
Yeah, the police have been taking a very active role down there, and we did receive some comment from some neighbors that they felt that the activity that the police were patrolling the area very consistently, but not at a regular interval, was definitely working. Scott is continuing to work on clearing of brush going down the driveway, which is shared by Squaw, to help open up the visibility to the park. And we think that with those items, we should be in pretty good shape in terms of deterring the adverse uses.
Okay, good. Thank you for that update.
Sure.
Item number 5, continued discussion regarding progress enforcement of blight issues. I did not receive an update, so no action there. Item 6, I have no action or updates for anything on the Clark Farm property, so no action there. New business. Make a motion to accept Bellows Drive into the town's inventory as a public street in accordance with 300 Tac 025 and ordinance regulating any addition regarding the addition of any new street or highway into the highway town system to the town of Ledyard. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Steve, I know you're here probably for this, so, and the next item as well. Any comments you would like to make? You're on mute.
Got me
There you
now.
go.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
Sorry about that. No, I'm not here because I thought this was anything more than just a straightforward administrative item per se. But I would just say that there are some punch list items that remain on each road, but not the road itself. And So as far as the infrastructure that we would directly maintain, it's all complete. The areas that are not complete are off the edge of pavement behind the curb. There's turf establishment issues. There are some town open space cleanup items. There are some, I think, monumentation issues that still remain for property boundaries. But for purposes of maintenance, and especially to get this in under the wire for Town Aid Road eligibility, that's done by calendar year.
Yep.
We wanted to get that in before the end of December. So we actually did, during this little semi-surprise snow event, get out there and treat those roads, actually.
Okay. All right. Any further?
Mr. Nabrowski?
Go ahead, Dave.
Just for reference, and the land use department is withholding a bond for those remaining minor items that need to be taken care of. So we are covered for those small remaining items.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number Meadows into the town inventory as public street ordinance in accordance with 300 tax 025, an ordinance regulating addition of any new street or highway into the highway system into the town of Ledyard. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion there? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3. I make a motion to authorize the mayor to enter lease negotiations for 2 classrooms in the former Ledyard Center School, 740 Curve Ledyard Highway, from landlord Ledyard Center LLC of Middlefield, Connecticut. The lease space will be for the relocation of the Ledyard Food Pantry. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Mayor, you want to give some background?
Sure. So as you know, the food pantry was moved out of town hall more than 5 years ago. The Ledyard Congregational Church was very kind in welcoming that program, which helped those that accepted food greatly because it got them out of town hall hours and allowed them for nights and weekends and off hours. So the program went very well. Program probably went so well that it expanded well beyond the former town hall's boundaries of 500 square feet and into the carriage house next door, which I lovingly called the Burger Barn from the fair, as well as the stone room in the church and the area that used to be the daycare facility within the church. So it was all over the place. I mean, in places you can't imagine. So we decided it was time to look and see if we could kind of narrow it down. We had looked at building out the carriage house. The costs continued to grow on that, and it would still put us in 2 separate buildings and without running water or a bathroom facility, which we felt was important for the volunteers. So we looked at a number of options, as you know. We looked at the Morgan Barn, which is right there on the lower town green. That's the red barn down there. Nice square footage on the main floor. The second floor is made with OSB, so it is not load rated. We'd have to make some changes there, and we cannot have a lift, a platform lift to move surplus food up and down because the stairwell is too narrow. We also couldn't have a bathroom there. There was a bathroom there previously, but it was not permitted, and Ledgelight wasn't really thrilled about the fact that there was a bathroom in there. So we'd have to do some pretty substantial undertaking to make that septic suitability work in the Morgan Barn. We also looked at the Gales Ferry Community Center. That building does fit quite well for the food pantry. It does have additional space in the lower level as opposed to the upper of the Morgan Barn. And with multiple means of egress to the basement, it would work well. And we could have the lift, the platform lift in there to get plus food back and forth. It became clear that people in the Gales Ferry Village didn't seem too intrigued with the concept of the use there. And quite honestly, we don't want to put the volunteers or the those that are served in a place that they're seemingly unwelcome. So what my goal was to try to work within our existing governmental footprint. So at that point, once we had looked at our options, we had to look at others. And several times comments were made about how helpful it is to have the food pantry in the geographic center of town, and even more importantly, closer to town hall. And so I inquired with the former Ledyard Center school owner, and we looked at a couple classrooms over there, and we brought some food pantry volunteers in, and we brought Public Works in, and everybody said, absolutely, we can do this. So I wasn't, as you know, I wasn't keen on expanding our footprint, but at the same time, I think that we're going to get a lease arrangement that's very favorable for the town. It's a single floor of space. It fits the bill. The goal was about 1,500 square feet of space, and this is 1,625 square feet, so we're right there. Bathrooms are readily available. Water is in the classroom, so we've got running water right there. And we were able to, kind of hold 2 classrooms pending approval, but hold 2 classrooms right at the end of the facility, which I think is good. So for food deliveries for patrons and for volunteers, they don't have to go far into the facility to gain access to the pantry, whether it's for personal reasons or for just hauling food in. So I'm excited about this location. I think it's going to work well. I think it's. I hope that the Congregational Church will still be involved because it's right across the green from them, and we've had a tremendous outpouring of community support for the location and the program. So this is on the agenda for Wednesday night. We went through finance last Wednesday, and we're trying to check all the boxes so we can get there and put negotiations.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments?
I'd like to say I definitely agree with the mayor. Having it centered in Ledyard and being able to use that space at the old school, I think it's going to be a really good fit for everybody.
I think it's a good idea as well. Okay. Go ahead, Bill.
Thanks, Kevin. Should have unmuted first. The church also met about this, and the church feels that given the size of the contemplated space, the fact it's all in one place, there are bathrooms, the church felt that it is probably also better for the town. And I can't speak for the church, but I can say that it's my opinion that the church will indeed continue to support it.
It's good to hear.
Thank you. Okay. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I have no other business. So without, anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion, meeting adjourned without exception. Thank you, everyone.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Hey, everyone.
Have a good night,
Have a great
everyone.
night, everybody.
You
Good
too,
night, all.
Fred.
Good night.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Thanks, I'll see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.